Hello friends, welcome to the Point. In this session, we are discussing about climate. What do you mean by climate? Climate, it refers to the sum total of weather conditions and variation over a large area for a long period of time. It may be more than 30 years. Weather refers to the state of the atmosphere over an area at any point of time. The elements of weather and climate are the same, that is, the temperature, atmosphere, pressure, wind, humidity, and precipitation. The climate of India is described as monsoon type. In Asia, this type of climate is found mainly in south and the southeast. Despite an overall unity in the general pattern, there are perceptible region variations in climatic conditions within the country. The two important elements are temperature and precipitation. In summer, the mercury occasionally touches 50 degrees Celsius in some parts of Rajasthan desert, whereas it may be around 20 degrees Celsius in Jammu and Kashmir. On a winter night, temperature at Dras in Jammu and Kashmir may be as low as minus 45 degrees Celsius, whereas in Thiruvananthapuram it may have 22 degrees Celsius. When we look at the precipitation pattern, there are variations not only in the form and types of precipitation but also its amounts and the seasonal distribution. Precipitation is mostly in the form of snowfall in the upper parts of Himalayas. It rains over the rest of the country. The annual precipitation it varies over 400 cm in Meghalaya and to less than 10 cm in Ladakh and western Rajasthan. Most part of the country they receive a rainfall from June to September, but some parts like Tamil Nadu coast gets a large portion of its rain during October and November. Generally, coastal areas they experience less contrast in temperature conditions. Seasonal contrasts are more in the interior of the country. There is a decrease in rainfall generally from east to west in the northern plains. This variation it has given a rise to variety in lives of people in the terms of food they eat, the clothes they wear, and also the kind of houses they live in. Climatic controls. There are six major controls of climate of any place. They are latitude, altitude, pressure and wind system, distance from the sea continentality, ocean currents, and relief features. Due to the curvature of the earth, the amount of solar energy received varies according to the latitude. As a result, air temperature generally increases from the equator towards the pole. As one goes from surface of the earth to higher altitudes, the atmosphere becomes less dense and temperature decreases. The hills are therefore cooler during summers. The pressure and the wind system of an area it depends on the latitude and altitude of that particular place and thus it influences the temperature and rainfall pattern. The sea exerts a moderate influence on climate. As distance from the sea it increases, its moderating influence decreases and the people experience extreme weather conditions. This conditions is known as continentality. That is, they are very hot during summers and very cold during winters. Ocean currents, along with the onshore wind, affects the climate of the coastal areas. For example, any coastal area with warm or cold currents flowing past it will be warmed or cooled if the winds are onshore. Finally, the relief too plays a major role in determining the climate of a place. High mountains they act as a barriers for cold or hot winds. They may also cause precipitation if they are high enough and they lie in the path of rain-bearing winds. The leeward side of the mountain remains relatively dry. The climate and the associated weather conditions in India they are governed by the following atmospheric conditions like pressure and surface winds, upper air circulation, and western cyclonic distributions and tropical cyclones. India lies in the region of northeasterly winds. These winds they originate from the subtropical high pressure belt of the northern hemisphere. They blow southwards, get deflected to the right due to the Coriolis force, and they move towards the equatorial low pressure area. Generally, these winds carry a little moisture as they originate and blow over land. Therefore, they bring little or no rain. Hence, India should have been an arid land, but it is not an arid land. The pressure and the wind conditions over India are unique. During winter, there is a high pressure area north of the Himalayas, and cold dry winds they blow from this region to the low pressure areas over the oceans to the south. In summer, a low pressure area develops over interior Asia as well as over northwestern India. This causes a complete reversal of the direction of winds during summer. Air moves from high pressure area over the southern Indian Ocean. In a southeasterly direction, it crosses the equator and turns right towards the low pressure areas over the Indian subcontinent, and these are known as southwest monsoon winds. These winds blow over the warm oceans, gather moisture, and bring widespread rainfall over the mainland of India. The upper air circulation in this region it is dominated by a westerly flow. An important component of this flow is jet stream. These jet streams are located approximately over 27 degree to 30-degree north latitude, and therefore they are known as subtropical westerly jet streams. Over India, these jet streams they blow south of the Himalayas all through the year except in the summer. The western cyclonic disturbances experienced in the north and northwestern parts of the country are brought in by the westerly flow. In summer, the subtropical westerly jet stream it moves north of the Himalayas with the apparent movement of the sun. An easterly jet stream called subtropical easterly jet stream it blows over peninsular India approximately over 14 degree north during the summer months. The Indian monsoon. The climate of India it is strongly influenced by monsoon winds. The sailors who came to India in historic times were one of the first to have noticed the phenomenon of the monsoon. They were benefited from the reversal of the wind system as they came by sailing ships at the mercy of the winds. The Arabs, who had also came to India as traders, named this seasonal reverses of the wind system as monsoon. The monsoons are experienced in the tropical area roughly between 20 degree north and 20 degrees south. To understand the mechanism of the monsoon, some important facts are to be known. They are the differential heating and cooling of the land. It creates low pressure on the landmass of India while the seas around experience comparatively a high pressure. The shift in the position of intertropical convergence zone in summer over the Ganga plain. This is an equatorial trough normally positioned about 5 degree north of the equator, and it is known as the monsoon trough during the monsoon season. The pressure of the high pressure area in the east of Madagascar, which is approximately 20 degrees south over the Indian Ocean. The intensity and position of this high pressure area it affects the Indian monsoon. The Tibetan plateau it gets intensively heated during summer. This results in strong vertical air currents and the formation of low pressure over the plateau about 9 kilometers above the sea level. The movement of westerly jet streams to the north of the Himalayas and the presence of the tropical easterly jet streams over the Indian peninsula during the summer. The monsoon type of climate it is characterized by a distinct seasonal pattern. The weather conditions they greatly change from one season to the other. These changes are particularly in the interior parts of the country. The coastal areas do not experience much variation in temperature, though there is a variation in rainfall pattern. Four main seasons can be identified in India: the cold weather season, the hot weather season, the advancing monsoon, and the retreating monsoon with some regional variations. Let's discuss about the cold weather season, which is also known as winter season. The cold weather season it begins from mid-November in the northern India and stays till February. December and January are the coldest months in the northern part of India. The temperature decreases from south to north. The average temperature of Chennai on the eastern coast is between 24 degree to 25 degrees Celsius, while in the northern plain it ranges between 10 degrees Celsius and 15 degrees Celsius. Days are warm and nights are cold. Frost is common in the north, and higher slopes of the Himalayas experience low fall. During this season, the northeast trade winds they prevail over the country. They blow from land to sea, and hence for most part of the country it is a dry season. Some amount of rainfall occurs in Tamil Nadu coast from these winds. Here they blow from sea to land. In the northern part of the country, a feeble high pressure regions develop with light winds moving outwards from this area, which is influenced by the relief. These winds they blow through the Ganga Valley from the west and the northwest. The weather is normally marked by a clear sky, low temperatures, and low humidity and feeble variable winds. The hot weather season or summer season. Due to the apparent northward movement of the sun, the global heat belt shifts northwards. As such, from March to May, it is hot weather season in India. The influence of shifting of the heat belt it can be seen clearly from the temperature recordings taken during March to May at different latitudes. The summer months experience rising temperature and falling air pressure in the northern part of the country. Towards the end of May, an elongated low pressure area develops in the region extending from Thar Desert in the northwest to Patna and Chota Nagpur Plateau in the east and southeast. Circulation of air begins to set in around this trough. A striking feature of hot weather season is called Liu. It is a local wind. These are strong, gusty, hot, dry winds blowing during the day over the north and northwestern India. Sometimes they even continue until late in the evening. Direct exposure to these winds may even prove to be fatal. Dust storms are very common during the month of May in northern India. Towards the close of summer season, pre-monsoon showers are common especially in Kerala and Karnataka. They help in the early ripening of mangoes and are often referred to as mango showers. Advancing monsoon, which is also called as the rainy season. In the early June, the low pressure condition over the northern plain intensifies. It attracts the trade winds of the southern hemisphere. This southeast trade winds they originate over the warm subtropical areas of the southern oceans. They cross the equator and blow in a southwesterly direction, entering the Indian peninsula as the southwest monsoon. These winds they blow over warm oceans. They bring abundant moisture to the subcontinent. These winds are strong and they blow at an average velocity of 30 km per hour. The inflow of southwest monsoon in India it brings about a total change in the weather. There is also another phenomena which is associated with the monsoon is its tendency to have breaks in the rainfall. Thus, it has wet and dry spells. In other words, the monsoon rains take place only few days at a time. They are interspersed with rainless intervals. This break in monsoon they are related to the movement of monsoon trough. For various reasons, the trough and its axis keep on moving towards northward or southward, which determines the spatial distribution of rainfall. When the axis of the monsoon trough lies over the plains, rainfall is good in these parts. Whenever the axis shifts closer to the Himalayas, there are longer dry spells in the plains, and the widespread rain occur in the mountainous catchment areas of the Himalayan rivers. This heavy rain bring their wake devastating floods causing damage to life and property in the plains. The frequency and intensity of tropical depressions too are determined the amount and duration of monsoon rains. These depressions they form at the head of Bay of Bengal and across over the mainland. The depressions follow the axis of the monsoon trough of low pressure. The monsoon is known for its uncertainties. The alteration of dry and wet spells vary in intensity, frequency, and duration. While it causes heavy floods in one part, it may be responsible for the droughts in the other. It is often irregular in its arrival and its retreat. Hence, it sometimes disturbs the farming schedule of millions of farmers all over the country. The retreating monsoon, which is also called as post monsoon or the transition season, during October to November, with the apparent movement of sun towards the south, the monsoon trough or the low pressure trough over the northern plains become weaker. This is gradually replaced by a high pressure system. The southwest monsoon winds they weaken and they start withdrawing gradually. By beginning of October, the monsoon withdraws from the northern plains. The months of October to November form a period of transition from hot rainy season to dry winter conditions. The retreat of the monsoon it is marked by clear skies and rise in the temperature. While the day temperature are high, nights are cool and pleasant. The land remains still moist. Owing to the condition of high pressure, temperature, and humidity, the weather becomes rather oppressive during the day. This is commonly known as October heat. In the second half of the October, the mercury begins to fall rapidly in northern India. The low pressure conditions over northwestern India they get transferred to the Bay of Bengal by the early November. This shift is associated with the occurrence of cyclonic depressions which originate over the Andaman Sea. These cyclones generally cross the eastern coast of India, which cause a heavy and widespread rain. These tropical cyclones are often very destructive. The thickly populated deltas of the Godavari, Krishna, and the Kaveri are frequently struck by cyclones, which cause a great damage to life and property. Sometimes these cyclones they arrive at the coast of Odisha, West Bengal, and Bangladesh. The bulk of the rainfall of the Coromandel coast is derived from the depressions and cyclones. That's all for the session. See you in the next session with some other interesting topic. Thank you.